All right, it is hard to keep your diet on track, especially during the summertime, and especially when you hear conflicting stories about what works and what doesn't. And here to sort fact from fiction is registered dietitian from the Summa Health System, Cindy Carrell. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. We've heard of all those diets, and I think we hear a lot about all the celebrity diets. So it's like what works, what doesn't, and are they just not eating? So what's the deal?
Probably not eating for the most part. The first one, the gluten-free diet, has been promoted by Miley Cyrus recently as the diet to follow in order to lose weight.
She's lost a lot of weight.
She has lost a lot of weight, and if you follow a gluten-free diet, you could lose weight because gluten products, gluten is actually a protein that's in wheat, barley, and rye.
Okay.
The unfortunate part is there's only about 1% of the population that actually should be following a gluten-free diet because they have a gluten insensitivity called celiac disease. So if you have that, it's imperative that you follow a gluten-free diet. The problem with a lot of gluten-free products is they can actually be higher in sugar, higher in calories, and therefore not as healthy for you.
So in turn can create problems.
It can create problems, and you can be consuming them products that are very high, like I said, in natural sugars, which again can lead to weight gain. So you have to be very careful if you're going to follow a gluten-free diet to get all of your information and to look at labels. Because on certain products you can find gluten-free cookies, not necessarily any better for you than your standard cookie.
Right, absolutely. And I think when we start to read those labels, that's where we get caught up.
Right.
You brought a couple of examples. There's a good table and a bad table.
Yes.
So
the bottom table, the bottom table has a gluten-free cookie on it, and if you look at the nutritionals for it, it has the same amount of calories, same amount of sugar as a regular cookie. The only difference is the type of protein or the starch that's used in it.
Is it this one?
That is that one, yes. So it's a vanilla creamed cookie. Again, cookies, I know you're going to talk about cookies in the next segment, but typically are a little higher in sugar, and this is no difference. It's going to be actually just as high as a regular cookie would be.
So is there an alternative?
Well, a lot of your crackers and things like that are made with more brown rice, those are a better choice because they're more tolerated by people that actually have the gluten intolerance. So again, you can find lots of variety out there in crackers and chips. You just have to look at the nutrition label.
Salt is also a big concern.
Salt.
We hear about that all the time. You know, salt your food, but let's back off a little bit.
Actually, we shouldn't really even be salting our food. We don't
I'm not the dietitian here.
We don't use salt. We overconsume salt dramatically in our diet, and increased salt intake has been shown to lead to an increased risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. So it's something that actually should be taken, and looked at strongly in our diet because the federal government actually came out with new recommendations for sodium, where they've encouraged everyone to restrict their salt intake to about 2,300 milligrams a day, which is about a teaspoon of salt. Unfortunately, we eat a lot of processed foods, so that isn't even anything that we're adding to our foods. It's what's coming in them from the processing.
I'm going to guess it has something to do with the meals that you heat up, that you just add water to. Ramen noodles.
For convenience, I know a lot of us at work and whatnot use some of these dishes. This pad thai that I have on this lower table is a dish that actually has 1,600 milligrams of sodium in that. That's quite a bit of sodium if you're considering limiting to 2,300 milligrams in a day. Now, people that are actually over age of 51, if you're African American, you have diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular issues, are recommended to limit their salt intake to 1,500 milligrams a day. So that one meal there would put them over their allotment.
Oh my gosh,
so you have
just
to be very
one meal?
One meal.
Okay.
Another tricky one, just to show you, is healthy choice soups. A lot of these everyone is buying because it says healthy choice.
Yes.
That has 2 servings in it. Most people would consume the whole thing for lunch.
Right.
And it has close to 950 milligrams of sodium in that one soup. So a better option is if you look around, there is another Asian pad thai entree. You just have to look at the label. That entree there goes in the microwave, has only 500 milligrams of sodium, so it's a much better choice.
Okay. What about the trans fat? That is like the newest thing.
Trans fats are...
Zero trans fat. Okay, I think I'll buy 5 bags.
Yes, but you have to be careful because that's not necessarily always the case.
Right.
Trans fats are a fat that's man-made, and it gives products a longer shelf life, crispy texture, so you see it often in crackers and cookies, fried foods, you see it's your fast foods, chips and things like that. But the problem is these types of fats really affect our cardiovascular system. They change our lipid profile, meaning they make our bad cholesterol worse and our good cholesterol, or bad cholesterol worse, and does not raise our good cholesterol.
Right.
So the problem is we have to try and limit these as much as we can, but manufacturers can label things as trans fat free even if they still have trans fats in them. That's the tricky part.
Okay.
So what you have to do is again, not just look at the label, the nutrition label, you have to look at ingredients.
Right.
If you see the word hydrogenated in there anywhere, that means there's trans fats in that product. So I brought a couple of examples. Your Ritz crackers have trans fats in them.
Doritos.
And Doritos have trans fats.
Okay.
No surprise. I mean,
if you're
do we really think Doritos were going to be a nice healthy snack?
I know, right?
No.
But if you wanted the alternative, you
could get the baked chips,
right,
or you could get the wheat thins. A fiber select cracker actually is trans fat free, and they're full of fiber and they're delicious.
Cindy, oh, so much great information.
Thank you.
See, this is a great way because now it's summer. We're looking to kind of get in shape, so this is the first way to start. Thank you for being here.